I think that next week I'm going to go back to 5 o'clock. That seemed to work better. Okay, so let me just check YouTube to make sure that I am live and that I have volume. My channel. Okay. All right, I have volume there. All right. And I don't know what's going on with Facebook. It's showing that I should be live. Am I only in my group? Not in my group. Okay, so if you are on Facebook and you're watching me right now, I'm going to end that live and I'm going to go back in and restart it. If you're on YouTube, I apologize. It'll be just a minute. Cancel. All right. Sorry, you're getting my whole hand there. So I want to go to mine, and I want to go live. Okay, I should be live. Let me refresh my, I probably should have refreshed my computer a minute ago. All right, let me see what's going on. I don't know why I am not showing up online. That's weird. Super, super, super. Go live. Because I didn't push the button. Okay, so let's see if that did it. I tell you what, technology, it's supposed to be like make things easy for us. It does not seem to make things easy for us. I don't understand why it's not showing that I'm live. Hopefully, if I'm live, you can hear me. I cannot see comments because I can't see the video. So, not sure what that's all about. But maybe my computer will catch up in a few minutes. So, anyways, I am distracted by my cat. So, hi, I'm Heidi with Heidi Mine. If you are new to my channel, please feel free to subscribe. If you're on Facebook, feel free to like the page or follow. I have a cat walking around in the background, just ignore her. If you are watching live, then please feel free to comment #live in the comments. This helps me know who is watching live or if people are watching live. If you're catching this on the replay, please go ahead and hit hashtag or type #replay in the comments. This also lets me know when people are actually watching the videos, and it helps if I have to change my time. Like today, my daughter has classes outside of the house that end at 1:30, and I thought I had plenty of time to get back, and I didn't apparently. And I also thought I had things set up. So, hi Sarah. Sarah's on YouTube. So, yeah. So clearly, that should be something I talk about is time management. I'm gonna have to figure that one out pretty soon. But I think what I'm going to do on Tuesdays is just go ahead and do lives at 5 because it rhymes, it's fun, and I don't know. And then if you're making dinner, then you just pop me on the device and I'll chat with you while you're making dinner. That sounds like fun to me. Um, so yeah, so in the description where I'm not sure on YouTube if it's showing a description yet, I had tried to set up like on Facebook you can do events. And so on Facebook I set it up as an event and I put all the details in that. And then I thought I found a way to do it on YouTube, but apparently you have to have a streaming service. So, they catch you coming and going. Um, but today I wanted to talk a little bit about um, organization and cleaning. Those are things that I've always really struggled with. And I was, of course, always told that I was just a messy person. And you can see behind me, this rack here is actually going to be garage sale items. So even though it just looks like there's things tossed up there willy nilly, uh, it's really just so that I can see what I have, and it's going to be rolled out at a garage sale this weekend. My machine, when my dad was out at the end of last month, we had to bring this super super heavy embroidery machine from my house into my garage, and it's about 3 steps. My garage is obviously, well, maybe not obviously, my garage is cement and it's got cement steps. Um, and this thing weighs a lot. So it was just very stressful getting it into the garage. Um, and we were in such a hurry, I haven't had a chance to paint yet. So this is the old color of the garage. It's kind of a burgundy red. Um, and then this is new sheetrock here. And I've just kind of brought things. We call it downstairs. Our garage, it's literally down like 3 stairs. Um, but I had to move everything from my old sewing studio, which was a bedroom in the house, into the garage. Uh, Once I had some heating and air conditioning put in, so I have not had a chance yet to get it organized. Um, you might ask why I didn't just organize it as I was bringing it down, but I haven't really figured that part out yet. And I'm not good at the organization thing. I also get asked a lot, as I'm sure my friend Sarah, if you see her in the comments on YouTube, Home with Sarah Jane, she is another homeschool mom, and she has a wonderful channel that I love watching. Um, and I think a lot of people ask, how do you get it all done? How do you get it all done? And she's way better at this than I am. I'm going to tell you that right now. um, and the thing is a lot of, I don't know, I want to say a lot of the homeschool moms will say, like, we don't get it all done. Like, there's always the to-do list that you're carrying over into the next day. Um, and I have gotten some great book referrals, but of course, finding the time to actually read the books is also the problem, because when you're trying to get organized, there's this funny thing with time that you think, if I only had enough, if I only had more time, then I could get XYZ done. Um, but really, like, and so then you're like, oh, well, I'll read this book that's going to help me, or I'll read a blog post that's going to help me to be better organized and have better time management and to meal plan and to do this and that and the other thing. But then you run into this problem of you still have to find time to read the book, and then you have to find time to put that into action. Um, and I did forget some of the stuff upstairs, up in my room, that I was going to bring down. One of my other small business mom friends recommended this book called Mom Fog by Hannah Keeley. I started reading this in 2020, I want to say. I did not finish it. There's like a whole thing. Like, I want to say that there's like this whole like boot camp you can do like digitally, where you read certain things, like you should read a chapter and then you do an activity every single day. Um, and I am going to come back around and finish that book because there was a lot to it that really resonated with me. I'm going to read the back real quick because I don't know what the deal is with all the copyright stuff. So I know I can read like the back of the book and not get in trouble. Uh, that mom fog is real, y'all. You like my y'all? If you're a mom, you've probably experienced mom fatigue syndrome before. The foggy thinking, overwhelming exhaustion, and zero motivation. You know what you need to do, you have no desire to do it. Chances are you've tried everything: diets, budgets, decluttering days, and endless pots of coffee. Totally true. But no matter what you do, you end up right back where you started from, just a little more frazzled and frustrated than before. So it talks about it's a step by step guide to walk you out of mom fatigue and into higher energy, good vibes, and incredible productivity based on the 8-step mom mastery method. Um, and then it talks about, Hannah's awards and all that good stuff. Uh, there was like just starting this. Um, I started the book I'm currently reading 4 times. Sarah says, I started the book I'm currently reading 4 times. I get it. Cause like, I don't, Sarah and I are very much alike. So maybe this is true for her. The first like couple chapters that I read, I was just bawling because I'm like, oh, that resonates like so deep. But then, it was, I didn't read it in 2020. I read it in 2021 because I ended up, my grandmother fell and I packed up the kids because homeschooling and even like meeting with our advisors, everything was remote. They weren't in any in person classes. So we packed up and we went to Arizona for a few weeks, I think 3 weeks. We were planning to go for my grandmother's birthday that year, anyways, because she turned 90. Um, so we just made a little adventure of it. And I remember I was posting to social media that I was going to read this book. And I had started reading it, and it is a good book. And I have another friend that absolutely, like, she says it's totally spot on. But I think that sometimes for certain personality types, like they could read a book like that and they just move right into like, this is what I've got to do, and now I'm going to do it. And for me, I don't always switch right over into that gear. Uh, I always have like the best intentions though. My mom, she introduced me to the Fly Lady. Um, and I loved the Fly Lady when I first started with that. I'm turning on my iPad right now so that I can log into the other things that I want to show you. Um, so I did like Fly Lady because it was very much like, get in where you fit in. Um, there's no like beginning per se. Like you start with the fly baby steps or whatever, where it's like shine your sink. Um, and I did it. I did it for a while. I got in the habit of emptying out my sink every night before I went to bed. But I would get up and that wouldn't really like resonate with me, that she's like, she gives you all these tips about how to do your morning routine. And like one of the things that really like mentally, it was a hurdle, was get dressed to shoes. I work at home and I homeschool. What do I need shoes for? Um, I did start getting fully dressed. Like I stopped wearing my pajama pants every single day. But I was like, what do I need shoes for? Um, and really, really weird, I felt that if I had no dishes in the sink in the morning, like I didn't have anything to cross off my list the first thing, and like very first thing, which is I'm sure insane. So I adapted it and um, I started leaving just hand washed dishes in the sink. Like I'd get everything into the dishwasher. I run the dishwasher overnight, but I'd have like two or three hand washed dishes in the sink because for some reason, if I can get up in the morning and while my coffee is going and my breakfast is going, and I just wash up those couple dishes, I'm like, man, I am winning today. So, like, I'm no expert, but that's what I'm going to say. Find something you can do first thing in the morning where you're like, I'm winning. Like, I don't even care. And if that means just getting dressed to shoes, cool, cross it off your list. I did start wearing shoes in the mornings, but I wear sandals. So I like today I'm wearing boots, but I think I only have like two or three pairs of shoes that actually lace up. So what can you do? Um, I do a lot of digital books. So one of the things that I wanted to start doing was meal planning. And not as meal planning, but like weekly meal prepping, because I just feel like even for a few years now that I would spend so much time trying to figure out what I was going to put together for a meal. And my husband used to do all of the shopping for us, and so he would buy like parts of meals, like he would buy a ton of meat in one grocery uh, whatever trip, and then he'd buy like a couple of cans of vegetables. And then the next trip he would go on, he would get like the rice and potatoes and pastas and frozen food. Um, but like everything kind of went bad at different times, so you just never had like a whole meal. So I found again one of the times that I was in Arizona, because I've been going there a lot last couple of years, is I don't know if you're going to be able to. Oh, there you go. You can see it on Facebook. You can see it on YouTube. Um, so this is the ultimate freezer meal cheat sheet. Um, by Rachel from This Crafty House. And when I'm done with the streams, I will go ahead and I will put some links in. They're not affiliate links. I don't get anything back for referring. I just find them really interesting. The mom fog and this freezer meal thing too. I can't really show you what's in it because it's basically she really tells you she walks you through how to do an inventory of your freezer, your pantry, your refrigerator, um, how to budget what you have to make meals, and then how to do like this whole prep system where she gives you, I forget how many. I finally started printing them out because I found that I won't use them unless I can have them in a binder. Even as much as I love my iPad for this stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 recipes that you make doubles. So it ends up being 20 meals that you put in your freezer. And as of, well, today is November 8th in 2022. So as of today, she has um, one for summer, one for spring, two for fall, and one for winter. And they're all different recipes. I think she has a soup one, but I'm not sure if that's the fall of this year one. So if you have a question about that, put that in the comments and I can look it up later and answer. Um, but I really liked that. It's going to give us a little bit of trying to look for the other book, which I think is in my Amazon. Um, it gives us a little bit of variety, uh, but also like I can totally do the thing where on a Saturday or Sunday, I just go in the kitchen and I cook all day long, um, because then it's done. It's done for the week. I'm good. Everything's good. We're set. I throw it in the freezer. I don't have to think about it again. Kindle. I had to think about what app I use for Amazon. Uh, where are you? Where are you? Okay, it is called okay. So the other book that my friend, no, I want to see the cover. I tell you, sometimes I'm super technologically inclined, and sometimes I'm just a hot mess. Um, so another book that my friend recommended, the one that recommended the Mom Fog, um, we over the last 6 months since the end of April, we've been doing a lot of decluttering. We've been doing a lot of purging, and we've been trying to do a lot of cleaning. We really didn't notice in our household, especially during a lot of the lockdowns the last couple years. Where I'm located in California, we were one of the first to go into lockdown or shelter in place, whatever you want to call it. And we were one of the last counties in California to reopen fully. Um, so you spend a lot of time at home, and we're trying to do things for our kids to make things seem fairly similar. Um, but really, we were hoarding a lot of trash. I'm just going to say it. Sometimes you just have to admit it. Um, this particular garage was completely filled with old toys, with shopping trash from different, like Amazon boxes. And uh, we would have stuff like we'd go to Costco and we'd get boxes of things and we'd move them into the freezer. And for some reason, they never ended up in the trash, they just ended up in the garage. So my brother came out at the end of April, early May for 2 to 3 weeks, and he had me rent um, a dumpster. And they came in and they had it brought it in on a big truck and they dropped it in front of my house. And I'm like, I don't have enough stuff for this thing. We filled that thing. We filled it in 2 days, three days, maybe 3 days. Um, it was just so much stuff. It was stuff that was never going to sell in garage sales. It was things that were broken and I had put away thinking I would fix them later. Um, so we got rid of a lot of stuff. And obviously we don't have like a garage that we store things in, because even before this was my sewing room, it was kind of a game room, that we just ended up like stacking things in. So I also have sheds, multiple sheds, and those are full. One of them is my sewing things, and but then the other sheds are just random stuff. So we've really tried to take a good hard look at what we're keeping and why we're keeping it. Um, but I was struggling. I am the kind of person that like everything holds some sort of sentimental value, and it's sad. I would hold on to toys for my kids that they could have cared less about, and or couldn't have cared less about, however that is worded. Um, but I knew who bought it for them, for what holiday, uh, for birthday, like everything. So I had these like emotional attachments to my children's toys. And then like, don't get me started on the little people. I would buy them little people because little people are awesome. Um, but my kids haven't played with little people in years. So they were really just for me. Um, I did manage to not throw away any Legos, even the Duplos. I've still got the Duplos. I know you can like recycle them and stuff. Um, but I have family, immediate family, that are they're clean freaks. They're very, very clean, orderly women. It's the women. And sometimes I would get to the point where I was like, why even try? I'm never going to get to their level of organization or cleanliness. So you just get this like defeatist attitude about it. And it's like, why bother? I'm just not even going to do it. Uh, and that's where my head went a lot of times. So my friend recommended this book, Um, and I think I still brought up the workbook. Where is the actual book? It is, okay. It's called The Clutter Connection. Um, and I just want to find the cover. And I read this entire thing. Uh, and I loved it. I loved it. It was very eye opening. Um, okay, so there's Facebook, and there is that there. So Sarah says, I've been wanting to read that. It is amazing. So this is by Cassandra Arison. I probably pronounced that wrong. I'm sure I did. There's like a workbook, and there's some other book that I bought with it too. I do like digital books because then I can just take them everywhere with me. So I did download those, and then like I have good notes on my iPad, and I have my handy dandy pen. So I will transfer some books into good notes so I can like write and make notes. Um, but the clutter connection was like eye opening. She really breaks down, she breaks people down into four types, and they're different bugs. There's like a ladybug and I don't know, a bumblebee. I can't remember. A grasshopper maybe. Um, and so they're like your personality types. And she talks about macro organizing and micro organizing and macro cleaning and micro cleaning and the combinations, um, and the Clutterbug, yeah, and uh, how the combination of those four things tell you how you should clean. So it's not like, it's not like a how to, like, oh, today you're going to clean your kitchen. So start with the silverware drawer. It doesn't do that, which is great because I'm not going to do it either. My um, patio thing is hitting the door. Um, that's always where I failed, is that, they, at one point in the book, she's talking about someone with a personality where they get all these baskets, um, colored baskets, so you can't see inside of them. And they put like label them with whatever's going to go in them. And then it's like micro organized inside where they have smaller containers. Like, I think one of the examples, or at least the example I use, is like if you had band-aids in every single size and every single color, and you divided those up into their own separate container, and then you had to go get them all the time. Like, that drives me crazy. um, and I'm a different kind of organizer in my craft room, my sewing space, than I am in my kitchen, and I'm different in like the rooms in my house. So it was very eye opening that I don't have to, uh, I don't have to clean like everyone else cleans, and I don't have to organize the way everyone else organizes. That's the word. I don't like my nail polish. I have a ridiculous amount of nail polish, and I used to try to keep them organized by color. Um, but then I would just stop putting them away because you had to think about where you were going to put them. And now I just have a drawer and I just put them in there, and it takes me a little longer to find what I'm looking for, but it takes me less time to put it away. And that was like her whole thing, is that it should take you less time to put things away, and then you're going to keep putting it away. Of course, now we're trying to work with um, figuring out my daughters and, what are their cleaning styles, because I want them to grow up knowing that they can be clean, they can be organized, and there's not like a right or wrong way to do it as long as it makes them comfortable, and you can walk through the room. Like, that was big. So like right now, my living room is the cleanest that it has been in years. Sadly, I mean, it's good now, but it's sad that it took this long to get it that way. I don't have beautiful couches. My couches I have kids, I have cats. My couches have stains on them. We keep scrubbing them, but they're not covered in laundry or boxes or whatever else. So we can get to them to clean them. My dining room is still a work in progress. It's a very small area, and that's where I keep a lot of the homeschool things. But my kitchen, I was able to get in the kitchen the other day and I made banana bread and I made chocolate chip cookie dough and I was going to make sugar cookie dough, but I didn't have a chance. But my youngest asked me if I could make her some egg bites. And so I got, if you follow me on, I don't know if I'm going to post it on TikTok or on Instagram. I might post it both places. And usually if it goes to Instagram, it bumps over to Facebook. We bought this egg bite maker at Target, and it's like this tiny little box of a thing, and you can make 4 little egg bites. There's 4 little silicone cups in it, but it takes like 10 to 12 minutes for them to cook. Excuse me, in this little thing. And they're small. They're super, super small. So I just felt like I was making them for days when I made them before. And I finally started using my actual instant pot, not just my pressure cooker. And I'm like, oh, this thing's really cool. So I ordered the inserts to actually make the egg bites, like the good size egg bites. And my kitchen was clean today. So she's been bugging me to make them. I got in the kitchen, I made them, and they turned out really cool. And I'm going to show you like on social media either today or tomorrow. I'll show you the difference between the ones that I made, because there's a huge difference. And the Instant Pot ones, I made, the containers hold 7. They have 7 little compartments, and I have 2 of them. So I made 14 of those egg bites versus 6 of the other egg bites. And the cooking time was exactly the same, right? Yeah, because the Instant Pot, it cooks for like 7 to 10 minutes, or it cooks for 7 minutes, and then there's like a 7 to 10 minute release. So by the time, and you make all of the mix at once. So by the time that smaller one is done cooking, for the Instant Pot's going into the release, and then by the time the little cooker's done making the last 2, I'm already scooping out the other eggs. So that it was really cool. But now I'm like, oh, what else can I make with these egg bite things? And like, there's a picture of cupcakes, so I'm thinking I'm gonna make cupcakes. Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, so I'm not giving anybody any like earth-shattering advice about cleaning your house or being more organized or perfecting any type of system. But the resources, I'll put them in either the show notes in YouTube or the comments in, or I guess the description in both Facebook and YouTube, with the links to Fly Lady, the Clutterbug, Mom Fog, and this Crafty house, the recipe one, because they don't take a lot of time. Mom Fog takes a little bit more time to kind of go through. That one is quite a bit more, but I think that's where I find my struggle, is the longer it takes me to get through whatever the lesson is, the more likely I'm going to stop and not finish. And maybe that's a little bit of that instant gratification thing, but I like to have small actionable steps to be able to, even if I just see a little bit of a result, like sometimes it's just that small result when you see it, and it just makes you feel so good because you're like, I'm winning. So, that's basically where I'm at is um, every time I log in, we will see something different in this room. I do actually have a false backdrop that eventually I'm going to have behind me um, because I will be finishing this room. I'm going to have to mud and tape and paint. And I'm deathly afraid of ladders, so that's going to be a super fun adventure. Um, but this year I've been pushing myself to new limits. So I figure, I did get on a ladder. My old sewing room will be my new bedroom. So I did get on a ladder to paint that room because it was, I think I've said it before, that room um, was the baby's nursery when I first started having babies. And then it eventually turned into my sewing room. Um, but I'm going to have a guest room now. So I'm moving into the old sewing room. And so I'm just painting it like a white color. Um, but I am not a good painter. So that's been a whole challenge. Um, but, you do what you can when you have to. So I know I've taken some video and definitely some pictures of the transformation of the mess that was my sewing room, um, different steps that it was getting cleared out, and then um, some of the actual painting. I don't think I took video of myself painting because that's that's a little much, but like I had the kids helping me paint that room, and my kids don't paint either, really. So there were these huge splotches of paint in the middle of the walls. And then they were like, well, we're tired. We're going to go. We're done. And so I had to come in and finish. But like the brushes, we had like all these random brushes. And so like the the seams and the walls are different colors than the actual walls. And it's a hot mess right now. So um, I'm going to try to get one more coat of paint and see if I can even it out a little bit more. But I do have like photos and I think video of all of that, of the weirdness that is my paint job. Um, and yeah, and then the transformation, I'll be doing a little bit more like video of the transformation of the current master bedroom and turning that into a guest room. And it's going to be a little bit of a carryover for our homeschool stuff because that's taking up a whole closet right now. I don't know if I will do videos of the transformation of the kids' rooms, but eventually I would like to redo parts of my kitchen. And my stepmom offered to come out next year and help me with some of that. So, um, so yeah, lots of fun stuff. I think that is about it. So Sarah says, I despise painting. It's not fun. There's no part of that that's fun. When my brother was here, quick side note, when my brother was here, um, we have two bathrooms that are back to back, which is convenient for plumbing, but it it's really just a weird situation. So he comes out, and in our front bathroom, there's a bathtub with no shower, and there was a toilet that hadn't worked for like a year to 2 years, maybe longer. Like we had not used that toilet in forever. Um, and the sink was broken. Like there was a big crack in it. So we really didn't use that. And there was no storage in that bathroom at all because when we bought the house, my husband took out the sink unit that was there and he put this beautiful pedestal sink in, which was fabulous for two people with no children, but not so fabulous when you have no storage in your bathroom, and then you have more people living in your house. So my brother fixed the toilet, and he's like, let's fix up this bathroom. And I said, okay, can we put a shower in without dealing with plumbing? And he says, yeah. So he goes and he gets all this stuff, and he fixes it up. It's like a tube thing that goes from the faucet all the way to the top. He gets the shower in, but he's like, but you have to paint the walls in here because you have to waterproof them, because it's not like a full, wasn't a shower. So then he's asking the kids, well, what color do you want to paint the bathroom? And they said blue. So he goes and he gets blue paint. He gets the waterproof paint. He gets the stuff for the shower. The toilet's brand new. Like, we had replaced it. It just hadn't been hooked up. So he had hooked up the brand new toilet. And then he goes and he gets this sink cabinet situation. And he gets this flooring it looks great now. And it just snaps together and you put it right on top of your existing flooring. But he gave us the task of doing the painting. And like, oh my gosh, I was just like, this is horrible. It was horrible because we had to put the waterproof paint in first. And me being afraid of ladders, I'm like, I'm not putting a step stool inside of a bathtub and then standing on it. Like that's some Final Destination stuff right there. So he had to paint all like the corners and the adjoining walls and everything and the ceiling. And then the kids were trying to help with the painting, but like they'd paint for like 5-10 minutes, and then they were like, we're done. And the window doesn't have a screen, so we weren't opening it, because if we left the door open and the cats came in, the cats would go out the window. So like we were getting like paint fume high. It was a hot mess. So I don't know why I decided that I was going to paint this bedroom, but I just wanted it to be a brighter color. It was like a tan. And I wanted to get rid of all of the Mickey Mouse stencils that were on it. It's a hot mess though. It's like right now it's the walls aren't too bad, but all of the cut-in places are just horrible. There's a corner right here. That's why I keep pointing in this direction, as if anyone knows what I'm doing. There is a corner right here that I keep pointing at when I'm talking about cutting in the corners. So yeah, so I will post that stuff when I have it. I'm going to be doing, right here, what you can't see is a stack of brand new t-shirts. I'm going to be pressing some new t-shirts soon. I wanted to have my website up and running, and my website is up. It is running, but right now I only have blog posts that are live, because when I changed my name for my business, I didn't know what I was doing with my website at that time. So I got it all wonky, and I lost a lot of information, like pricing on the majority of my items. Um, and something called variations, which, without getting into it, it just basically it's the way that it's set up to determine, like, so that people could put in their size and the color they want, and the style of, like, if they want a sweatshirt or a t-shirt or a tank top or whatever. So all of that information is just gone. It's doesn't exist. It's deleted. It's off into the wind. So I have to redo all of that. And it's just data entry. My nose is so itchy. It's just data entry, but it takes a while. And I figure if I'm going to redo it, then I want to make sure that I'm putting all of the updated information into the website. So that is why that's taking me a little longer. I was going to do a t-shirt sale for like fall Thanksgiving style shirts. If I can get that up and going this weekend, then I will do a very limited sale, because I want to keep the turnaround time fast enough to get everything 2 people in time for Thanksgiving. And then Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I am going to be with grandma. So I may do a little bit of a shirt sale that weekend with whatever's on the website. But once I come back, I'm going to be doing, I don't know if I'm going to call it a liquidation sale, kind of a clearance. I still have a lot of felt masks, puzzles, education toys that I made that are felt embroidered. I'm trying to think of what else. I don't think I have any wings. I might have some tails and some cat gloves. Um, but I have just like a huge bin of things that did not sell. And I had anticipated being able to make more and sell things this October, but that kind of got thrown off the tracks earlier this year. Um, so I will be doing, sorry, that's a long drawn out way of saying I will be doing some live sales. Um, this weekend, I will have the dates picked out for when I'll be doing that after Thanksgiving, but it will be things that I do have in stock, ready to ship. Um, and they'll be at, clearancey type prices, so that I can make way for new things coming in. Um, and yeah, and hopefully a true relaunch, either in January or February. It's just going to kind of depend on how quickly this space gets turned into the magical wonderland that I want it to be. So I think that's it. I'll put the links in. It'll take me a couple minutes because I've got to wait for the videos to process, especially on YouTube. It takes a little longer to process before I can edit anything. And then, yeah. So cleaning and organization. Don't try to do it too fast. Find things that work for you and just take your time and make sure that you find things every day that you can do that is that small win. That's the biggest thing. If you can find like 3 things to do each day that you know you can get done before you go to bed at night and you can cross them off of your list, it's the greatest feeling. 3 things. That's it. It's developing a habit. And then once you are, you know, getting those down with no problems, you can add a couple more. But trying to overwhelm ourselves, we have a lot going on every day, all of us. You have a lot going on. I have a lot going on. We can't pretend like we're going to have these spotless, like magazine cover spaces and still be living like a normal, healthy lifestyle with our families, spending time with our families, spending time with our kids. So, all right, cross something off your list today. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.